Hey folks, good morning and welcome back to the channel. My name's Happy Catty Crypto and let's just dive straight into it because there's just a ton to go over. So a lot of people have been wondering where I am, but a lot of people have also known where I've been. So realistically, we need to take this all the way back to last summer when I actually broke my back. Now, when I broke my back, I didn't do what you should have done, which was heal your broken back correctly. So down in this lower region here, you have pretty much what's called a sacrum, and then I think it's a sacral bone. But pretty much I had sent a fracture all the way through this. This had caused me to more or less heal in an awkward position from sitting in the chair all the time, just jumping straight back into what we was doing, pushing the LUNC movement along as best as we could. And I healed very awkwardly to a point where I was having seizures through one of my arms, and it wasn't a very nice situation. And I pretty much needed a keyhole surgery to fuse two discs pretty much together from what I'm told, but I'm not a surgeon, okay? I'm just trying to best explain this as I can to you folks. So pretty much it's really serious, and the surgery didn't go the way that they planned. And you know, these kind of spinal injuries, when you go in for lumbar surgery, it can actually lead to death. And you know, I had all sorts of different kind of complications, and the most important thing is I'm back home, I'm back in my chair, and I'm ready to get back into things. But there's just so much for me to catch up on, and just opening everything and getting back into everything is overwhelming. The amount of messages in my inbox is absolutely insane. And I can honestly say I just stepped back. I ensured the node was fully stocked, as you do, and informed the admin team that obviously I needed to go away and I needed to focus on this, and I would be back in due course. And I've seen all sorts of different messages coming up in my notifications from YouTube of all these different conspiracy theories, of all these different things, which is absolutely hilarious to see. I was just sliding them away. Lots of people thinking that I'm dead, which is totally understandable. But at the same time, if you didn't know how I'd broken my back, I guess then you're not in all of these different groups, so I kind of get it. But it was just a simple kind of, I needed to go away. I needed to work on myself because, you know, there just won't be this push that we need in LUNC to get to higher highs and higher lows. And with the current situation at the moment, it's looking really, really good from the position that I'm sitting in. And I can understand if you're feeling worried, if you're stressing about all the different kind of economic situations that are going on outside of Lunar Classic, because ultimately it has a huge effect. We are a very, very small cog in a very, very large machine. And yes, obviously we can bring the machine to a slower halt, but we're never going to halt that machine. It will go on without us. So like I said, it was a pretty serious injury. The most important thing now is, I think the best way to say it is, I've got a brand new back in a sense. I just need to continue to do what I was currently doing and going to all of my different kind of physiotherapy and everything like that across the board. So currently, with everything that's going on with the current economic situation, banks are collapsing, and what we see in the media is a very small picture, as we know, of what's possibly going on in the background, right? Because it's very easy for these large companies to hide the situations that are in. So you've got Credit Suisse, you've got so many different banks going down, you've got handouts being paid out, you've got bonuses being paid to other staff, and everyone's just kind of like, you know, this is really bad. But as a crypto holder and someone who's been involved in crypto for some time now, this is what we've been waiting for. And if you're panicking, I totally get it. And none of this is financial advice. This is all for educational purposes only. But this is what we've been waiting for, because during times of turmoil, financial crisis, uncertainty, doubt, people look for other assets, other places to go and earn money to avoid the inflation, to, you know, since before everything, it's always been a thing that people put their money into gold, silver, art, antiques, anything that holds substantial value in the future and the markets to come. You know, some people invest in die-cast tin cars and that's a store of value. They possibly keep them in the safe because they're worth so much money. But the point is as we go into this very uncertain time as to what is going on with all these different banks, and Silicon Valley Bank collapsing this is huge. This goes all the way back to the 1970s when you needed a computer would fill a whole office floor. You would need a whole floor of an office building to have a computer. So seeing someone like SVB collapsing shows that times are changing, and we've moved past this era of internet, dial-up, Wi-Fi, pushing forward, and we're at a point now where we've got artificial intelligence which could tell you, how many buckets of water it would take to fill, I don't know, your house. You could go for the most silliest of things, which is what a lot of people are doing. But the more interesting thing is how can you utilize ChatGPT into the everyday economy? And it's already being experimented with in so many different ways, but it just shows you how fast we are moving from that dial-up stage to where we are now. So going back to, World War I, World War II, what happened with the financial situations? Well, realistically, I think it was FDR, he brought in the Gold Reserve Act, which, limited people in America from having substantial amounts of gold kept in their ownership, so to speak. So you would have to hand it, it was like a forfeiture, you had to hand it over, and people were hiding gold left, right and center. But the point is back then crypto didn't exist, right? So you've got this, not only gold, silver, precious stones, art, antiques, you've now got crypto. And this is such a huge sector. It's new, it's fresh, and there's so much innovation. It's a whole new tech boom. But instead, you're going to have a tech boom which literally is already combining the power of the financial system, the internet itself, gaming, social media, and everything like that across the board. And it's really kind of like bundling it into one area where it can be had at. Now, the most troubling thing at the moment is regulation, and regulation is going to come crashing down, I believe, on crypto over the next few years. I believe the next bull run will be the last bull run before finance regulation really comes in and really cracks down. And the reason why I believe this is Sam Bankman-Friedman, he has escalated the whole process tenfold. This is just my own kind of theory and opinion, so to speak, but you don't need to be a rocket scientist, and you don't need to be hyper intelligent or to read a lot to know that they were making substantial payments to political parties in America, whether that be the left, the right, the middle. I don't really care. What we care about is the fact that they were making such huge payments to people in politics to possibly keep regulation pushed back. And we all know CZ Binance is more or less pushing for that main kind of regulation. But what we don't want is regulation to come crashing down. What we need is it to come step by step, where we can analyze and understand what we're agreeing to as people in crypto, because this affects all of us. And what the biggest issue is if everybody all of a sudden decides we want to go to the bank, we want to take all our cash out, all of the banks are going to crash, because the simple fact is that the banking system is greedy. Everybody knows this, and everybody knows why these different banks are collapsing. And, a lot of them, it's pretty much to do with greed and them thinking, well, we've got all of this money, we should be earning something extra on top of the extra we're already earning on top of that extra. So we're going to buy treasury bonds. We're going to buy different things that are possibly going to gain money, if not just hold their value, and will gain interest. And it's not worked out. And now all of a sudden, everybody does want to take their money out. And then you see these huge kind of panic modes set in across the board. And you've got so many different things going on inside Lunar Classic from what I can tell. But how can I explain this? I'm at a position where I left, that is what my current understanding is of what is going on inside LUNC. My main goal over the coming days is just get us back up to date, get myself back up to date, and start pushing everything again and ensuring people that, things are exactly how they are. But I'm a human just like a lot of people, and I put, everything I had into the Lunar Classic movement. I never really went away, like I said, and worked on myself. sorted my own back injury out, which was a serious injury. You know, people don't normally tend to survive these injuries, which is what I was told by many of the different physicians that I'd seen. So anybody who's had any point of their back broken will totally understand where I'm coming from. Now, the really good thing to see is these kind of articles going around saying about the toll crypto can have on people's mental health. It's very important to take breaks if you need to take breaks, if you need to step away for a little bit. Crypto can be an addiction in itself. If you feel like you need help or you need to speak to someone, reach out to someone. There's always someone out there to listen and help you out and help get you in a place where you should be. No one should need to suffer alone. That is very, very, very important for all of us across the board. So CoinMarketCap have done a weird, strange update. All the charting systems are now these freaky little weird charts that don't really show you too much, which is very interesting to see them making a change from real technical charts down to these real simplified charts, which is not so great for the everyday person, but you know, it is what it is. But everything that's been happening recently, I haven't checked the node. I don't know how much voting power we've got, and obviously no one's voted on the node because I'm the only one who has access to the node and I'm not available, and there's no one here who has control over anything inside the HTC realm but myself, and that's how good the security is here. I'm pretty sure if there was a compromisation or anything like that, something bad would have happened within the time where I've been away, and I think it's over a month now for sure. But the node's been topped up. It's always been there. It's always been running, and I can always see what was going on from my phone, which is really good. I know a lot of people can have millions of questions and millions of things to tell me about all the different things that have happened and who's arguing with who and who's bickering with who. Like I said, my main aim right now is just to get back up to date with where we're going as a crypto. But what I wanted to kind of put in at the end of this video is that I'm going to be focusing outside of the LUNC realm as much as I'm focusing on the LUNC realm, because there's a whole world out there. There's so many more cryptos, and the economic situation currently with everything that's going on is very interesting to us, especially in the crypto movement. Because like I said, as this banking crisis plays out, I believe crypto is going to start to move upwards. A lot of other professionals in this sector, they feel the same. You're seeing really good analytics out there. And one of the real good things to look at, I don't think I've got it up right now, but it's the Fear and Greed Index. And it's at a current high for, I think it's around 11 months. We're actually sitting up at a really good point. Bitcoin wallets are, you're seeing more new wallets that are being created with small amounts of Bitcoin in, which is a sign that the everyday average Joe is getting involved in crypto. People who are interested in crypto, their aim is to kind of get them to dip their toe in the pond a little bit more, maybe take a swim, but correctly, and doing everything, because there's just so many scams out there and, everything across the board. But folks, like I said, there's so much to go through and there's only so much time in each video, and we'll be going over many different things. I'll probably post this video, then go into Telegram and go from there and start going through all of the different agoras and seeing what's going on. But folks, other than that, I hope everybody's well. I hope you're all staying safe, and beware of scammers, beware of doppelgangers. They exist. There's millions of them out there. I have no doubt there's been loads of them pretending to be me as well. And yeah, just stay safe. We'll catch you in the next one.